So what are the biggest challenges now? Besides you focusing on product, is hiring a big challenge now?
Hiring's probably the biggest.
Well, in particular, like engineers, or?
Yeah, we're hiring engineers, and we're also trying to find a VP Tech and several other roles that are definitely important to as far as our growth and trajectory. And hiring has turned into one of those kind of lessons learned. Like, before I had to hire people, I thought, oh, it's easy. You know, you're offering money, you find people, like it's an easy thing. But it's actually incredibly difficult, and it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of energy, and you don't want to make a mistake hiring. And there's the same problems that you can have with a startup that isn't doing great or isn't doing poorly. You can have the same thing happen with people that you hire. They're not those A+ rock stars, but they're not completely, you know, failing that you can easily get rid of them. They're just kind of in this middle area where it's neither here nor there. You always want to try and hire those A+ rock stars. And
so do you find the hardest part? I mean, so there's finding, there's sort of screening, figuring out who's good, and then there's convincing them to join you. Like, which of those three? I mean, they're all hard, I know, but like, which of the three is like, do you find the hardest?
I think, you know, probably just finding is a big part, and that initial screen to make sure that all the cards line up. We're based in New York. That's sometimes a problem if you're not in New York or you're not willing to move to New York.
Do you find that's a big hurdle? People don't want to move to New York?
Actually, New York is luckily a nice draw.
I think that's I generally find that's actually, especially if someone's just like graduating college, like they usually like it. But,
Yeah, we're not saying, you know, move to the middle of nowhere and live in, you know, some remote place with us. We're saying move to one of the greatest cities in the world and have a life as well as, you know, come work with us. So that definitely helps. I think hiring, and it's funny, I'm going to dating again, but hiring's a lot like dating. You can't be too forward. The other person, if they're too forward, it kind of scares you away. There's like this whole just kind of dance, right? And everything has to work. You know, personalities have to work, culture fit, like all these things just have to work. And then when it works, it works.
Yeah. And what would be maybe some advice you'd give people watching, entrepreneurs starting out? I don't know. You've done a couple companies, so. Or a couple products, I should say.
I think probably the thing that I try and work the most on is try to get things out as early as possible. Figure out what your minimum viable product is and just get it out the door.
So you believe in sort of the lean startup approach or whatever?
Yeah, I believe whatever it takes, get that product out there. Figure out like what features you can live without and what features should go in. I tend to have a very high level of polish, and I'm always thinking like, wait, if we have this one more thing, like we launched with the fact that when you DJ, it shows you what laptop you're using, like either a Mac icon or an PC or Linux or whatever. We didn't have to launch with that. That was definite icing that did not like help on the course of Turntable. But that's just kind of me. That's my level of polish. I think that it's just so important to get an idea out there and test it and see how it's going to be received, because nobody truly knows if it's going to succeed or fail. Yeah. Everybody has their best guess, but you don't know until you actually put it out there and see the reception.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, I think we're out of time, but thanks so much for coming back, and good luck.
Absolutely.
Okay.